always, you've got the choice of using a mat for your practice, or if you prefer, you can use a towel on the floor if you've not got access to a mat, or you can just use the floor. You might want to have maybe a jumper or something that you can cushion your knees with at one point, but yeah, you'll be fine. So, good evening everyone, and welcome to your restorative yoga practice. My name is Jasmine, for those of you that haven't practiced with me before. So today, yes, we are focusing on opening through the hips and increasing the length of our inner thighs. So just to explain a little bit about what this means, and we'll get started with our practice. When we think about opening through the hips, really there can be a lot of tension that is stored in the hips, and that's because when we experience pain, be it physical or emotional, the brain will tell the body to cope with it, to deal with it, if you like, and it puts all of its consciousness on handling that pain. When the pain becomes too great, it can be stored in the body as a blockage and as tension, because it becomes easier almost for the body and mind to ignore the issue than to deal with it. So that's why this sequence can often be called the emotional blockage sequence, because we are removing through a lot of emotional blockages that might be in the body. That being said, I often will ask you to really focus in mainly on the breath in your practice, and of course that should be at the forefront of your mind, but really be mindful as well of the emotions that you experience in your practice. So really be conscious of how you feel when you move into each posture, and really try and exist and be present with that emotion that your body gives you, really just acknowledging it. Okay, are we ready? So lying down on your backs for me, you're going to come into reclined butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together and then bring the back onto the floor. And I'd like you to bring your hands to your hips. So you're bringing the palms to warm the hip flexors. Or if you don't like the hands there, you can just rest them down by your side. So your choice when it comes to the hands, but we're just bringing some awareness to the pelvis. Awareness to this space in the body that we're going to open up and move through this evening. So just start to tune into the breath, closing the eyes. And if you can, with the eyes closed, see if you can begin to see a deep, warm orange colour. If you don't see the colour, that's fine. We're holding on to the colour orange, and we're breathing into the nose, filling the belly rise. And then as we exhale, feeling the belly soften. Deep breaths into the nose and out from the nose. And just imagining now the breath travelling up from the base of your spine, all the way out through middle back, upper back, and crown of your head. Almost like a rippling effect, like water. We breathe in to feel the breath travel up the spine and out of the head. If this shifts the spine or allows you to move in any way, that's fine. Or if it leaves you static, that's okay too. Breathing in and breathing out. Checking in with how you feel in yourself right now. What emotions have overcome you? Now you've sat down, now you've lied down, and chosen to focus on you. Take the knees into the belly and just start to give the knees a gentle rock side to side. Just a gentle massage of the back of the pelvis on the floor. And then taking your peace fingers, your yogi grip, we loop the fingers behind the big toes. Or if that's too much for you, you can hold on to the shins. We're going to lift the heels and we're going to pull the elbows out to the side and the knees into the armpits. And again, gentle rock side to side. Just massaging the lower back. We come into our happy baby pose. So maybe this pose makes you feel happy. Maybe it brings a smile across your face. Really pulling and guiding those knees to the armpits. Gentle sway. Gently waking up the body and freeing up the hips. Then releasing the legs down, slowly rolling over onto one side and then pushing yourself up into sitting. Come through with crossed legs and bring the hands to the knees. So we're going to move through 3 times in one direction, big circles. Just taking some time to really oil up the joint of the hip, making sure there's enough synovial fluid. And the other way, 3 times. So the energy center that we're stirring in our practice today is related to relationships, emotions, pleasures, wants and needs. So just being really mindful if any of those kind of emotions pop up for you today. Coming over onto our hands and knees, we're going to bring one leg forwards. So big step with one leg, coming into a low lunge. And again, that energy center that we're working with, the element that it relates to is water. So if you need to move in any kind of rippled effect, maybe circular, just imagine the body is fluid like water, even though we're not going to be moving quickly in between each pose, but we are going to be fluid. We're dynamic in the posture, not necessarily moving in and out. So the knees directly stacked over the front ankle, and we're pushing the hips down to the floor, keeping the chest growing forward, spine long. And we're going to hold here for 4 deep breaths, really existing in this low lunge. As we gently begin to open up through the hips. Making sure your lips are sealed. We're breathing through the nose. One more breath here. Now you can choose to stay here, or if you'd like to take it deeper, we're going to toe heel your foot to the outer edge of the mat and potentially come down onto the forearms in lizard pose. So for lizard, we're really gaining a sense of the chest moving forwards and along, the spine lengthening, and the back knee is dropped. If you want more of an active pose, we tuck the back foot and lift the knee. But tonight I'm moving gentle and slow, so I'd suggest keep that knee down. So let's hold here for 4 deep breaths, really feeling the pelvis sink, using the effects of gravity to drop the pelvis down. Two more breaths, slow the breathing. Last breath together. And then begin to activate the body, coming up onto the hands if you're not already. We're going to take this front leg and we're going to take it to a bend and release it down onto the floor. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So eventually for pigeon, we're looking at having the front leg, the front shin in line with the front edge of the mat. I'm not quite there yet myself, so by all means, if you need to, we take a deeper bend to that knee. Back leg is straight, but if you need to take it to a bend as well, you can, if that's too intense for you. So this open hip, the left side of the hip is going to want to move away from the floor. We're going to need to push that hip down, squaring the pelvis off. So it's almost like we are working towards being able to balance with the pelvis completely on the floor. Bring the hands in front of the body and in front of that leg. Maybe the flats of the hands come down. Just know that you can stay at any point in this pose. If you can, you're going to come down a little bit further. Release tension from the shoulders, release tension from the jaw. And maybe you're going to walk those hands, keep lengthening through the back, through the spine. Still encouraging a weight in the left side of the pelvis. We're not lifting the left side of the hip away from the floor. And from here we're working with 4 breaths, and I'd really like you to imagine that breath travelling in from the base of the spine and then out through the crown of the head. Again, if this creates a ripple-like sensation through the vertebrae, then that's fine. Two more breaths together here. Inhale. Feel how the body moves. Inhale. And then coming onto the hands, pushing the body away. And then sending that leg back. We're going to step your other leg forward. So left leg comes forwards into that low lunge. Front knee in line with that ankle. And just really gain a sense of the pelvis shifting and moving. Give your body a chance to come into this position. Unless lots of you are, I don't know, gymnasts, you're not really going to be doing this on a day-to-day basis, are you? So give yourself time to arrive. And just encourage any movement that the body asks of you. So be intuitive with that movement. Explore where your body wants to move. Your version of this slow lunge for 4 deep breaths. So find that biting point, find that moment that you can hold, and we breathe together here. Inhale, slow, and exhale, slow. 3 more breaths, really slowing it down. You've taken that 4th breath, you have the option of holding, you have the option of coming deeper into lizard pose, bringing the forearms down, maybe toe heeling that foot to the outer edge of the mat. Once again, take a moment to shift, maybe to ripple. Our bodies are liquid, they're fluid, and we're just going to take a moment to arrive in this new position. Give yourself a moment. And when you're ready, pushing that chest forward, lengthening the heart. We hold here for 4 deep breaths. So notice if there's any resistance from your body or from your mind. Does 4 breaths sound like a long time? Does it feel like you're holding these poses for quite a long time? Because believe me, we're actually not. We're not quite verging on the 20 breaths. Taking 1 more deep breath together here. And out. Activating the body, slowly we come out of this pose. And we're going to take this leg and we're going to place it onto the floor, into pigeon. Back leg straight, although if it needs to come to a bend, you can bend that leg. And we're working to open up the angle of the left leg. So eventually we're working with the shin being parallel. But as you can see, when I do that, my hip comes all the way off. So I'm mindful that I need to bend that leg, probably about halfway there. Back hip, open hip, rolls down to the floor, as if that's our base of support for being stable. And we bring the hands forwards of the leg. Really working with the heart growing forwards, rather than thinking of hunching over, we're thinking of growing out taller, out longer. Maybe walking those hands away. Maybe you can bring flats of the hands down onto the floor. Maybe forearms come down. Maybe you can walk away longer. The beauty of a slower practice is that you've really got time to investigate where your body initially goes to and then where it chooses to remain. So being quite mindful of that journey in each posture for your own practice. We're going to work through the fluidity of the spine in this position for 4 breaths. So inhale, breathing in from the base of the spine, it ripples through the spine, growing you longer, and out. Feel the shift in the back as you inhale, growing the space in between each vertebra, and out. 2 more times, slow breath, ripple like a wave. One more time, deep breath together. And out. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, pushing the floor away. Slowly take the time to come out of the pose. We're going to take a little child's pose here. So knees wider than hips, toes together. We sink back to the heels, walking the hands forwards, shifting the hips back in space. So we feel the opposition, the magnetism in that pull of the fingertips reaching, but the pelvis shifting back. Just giving the moment to yourself, to your body to rest. Check in with how you're feeling. And then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, push the floor away. And we're going to come into Malasana now, which is our garland pose. So I'd like you to step 1 foot, turned out, in line with the edge of the mat, and then we're going to step the other foot. So we've come into our Hindi squat. Maybe some of you are finding this near impossible. Maybe your heels are lifted. Maybe you need to come up higher, bending the knees, and just placing the forearms on the thighs. So maybe that's enough for you today. So really use the elbows as a leverage to push the elbows out to the side. Feeling a weight in the pelvis dropping down, crown of the head growing long. Opening and sinking into some depth in the hips here. Feel at any point you can close the eyes and just focus internally. If this becomes a bit much, you can always return to child's pose and have another moment to rest. Shoulder blades retracting, pulling together. And then slowly we're going to release the knees, bring the hands behind the body, send the legs out, and just give them a moment to release. So shaking the legs in the hip sockets, side to side. This practice is solely mat-based, so I'm not going to make you do anything standing. We're going to come to a wide leg position now, so taking the legs wide. Now, be mindful that we've all got a very different hip structure. Your legs might be narrower. They might be only about a 90-degree angle, which is absolutely fine. You want to take them to about 70-80% of your range. We don't want to be in a full wide position, about 70%. And we're going to bring the fingertips forward. Now, normally I tell you on a Friday you can relax the legs, but I would like you to push the toes up to the sky because that helps keep the knees stacked in line with the ankles. So just take a moment to arrive here. Maybe you're already thinking this is quite enough for you. We're all going to be very different in this position, so just be mindful that you can bring the hands down. And we're going to breathe through with a ripple in the back. So starting with the base of the pelvis, inhale, travelling out through the crown of the head. And then see if you can walk those hands a little bit further away from you. And once again, we'll take that breath in from the base of the pelvis, inhale. And then as we exhale, maybe walking the hands away, maybe coming onto the forearms. Once again, a breath together in from the base of the pelvis. Breathe in. And out. Maybe you can come down lower, maybe you need to pull back a little bit, but wherever you come to, just allow the chest to kind of ease forwards and down, maybe shifting. Maybe you're moving, exploring intuitively where your body wants to go. Maybe the forehead drops down, using the weight of the head to assist you in this position. Now really don't be frustrated with yourself if you've come to here and that's enough for you today. We're going to breathe together for 4 deep breaths. A really rewarding thing about hip openers is that if you're patient in the posture, if you hold them for a long time, you really do start to see a change. You start to see the connective tissue soften, and you feel that shift in the body. Two more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then walking the hands back. We're going to come and bring the legs round together, and we're going to move into a pose called Fire Log. Now this one's for you, Craig, because I know you've joined me tonight. We're going to bring the legs to a cross position. And then I'd like you to keep the left leg crossed. Now, eventually we're looking for the shin, a bit like in pigeon, to be parallel with the short edge of the mat. I'm not quite there yet, I need to take more of a bend, as in pigeon. The right leg is going to come across, and it's going to go above the left knee. Now eventually what we're looking for is this knee to drop down. Now I'm quite tight in this pose, so I probably don't look comfortable. I'm not very comfortable. If you're like me and this is excruciating, I want you to lean back into the hands, lift through the chest, and just take a moment to breathe. If you're feeling loose in the hips and you can bring the hands in front of the body, you might feel a little bit more of an opening up through the legs. Now there'll be some of you that can lie flat down onto the floor and just probably sleep like that. I actually do have a friend that sleeps like this, weirdly enough. But a lot of the time, in this posture especially, there's quite a lot of resistance. You feel the body almost contract and tell you to draw back, and it's not really a pain, but it's more of a tightness. And you might resonate with this, or you might be thinking, no, it's just painful, and in which case you're going to lean back into the hands. But if you kind of are with me in that sensation, and it's not really a pain, it's more of a release, then you're really going to try and persevere with that sensation and just explore where your body will really allow you to go. This is one of those beautiful postures that the longer you spend, the more you morph and you mould. Think about it like Play-Doh. If you're kneading cold Play-Doh, it's quite stiff. But actually after a while it softens. Our bodies are the same. So let's work through with that ripple in the back. So breathing in from the base of the spine, inhale. And exhale. So that should really quite shift your spine, shift the vertebrae. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more breaths here with the spine. into a bend and then gently window wiper side to side. So maybe at the end there you're in pain like me. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So this time the other leg bends in, and again we're looking for parallel. So some of you might have the shin parallel to the front edge. Some of you will have a deeper bend to that knee with me. The foot comes across and rests just above the knee. You might be aware that one side is tighter than the other, and one side your knee is really lifted and the other side it's dropped right down. Know that that's perfectly normal. So as we arrive, decide maybe you're taking that position with the hands again and you're just working with the weight of the knee dropping down. Maybe you can come to sit quite tall. Maybe this side feels a little bit better for you. Maybe you're bringing the hands in front of the legs. Don't feel frustrated with yourself if you're not where you want to be. Because where you are right now is right for your journey and right for your practice at this moment in time. So be conscious of letting go of those judgments that you hold on yourself, because no one else has them. Maybe you're walking the fingertips, maybe you're starting to shift, maybe you move deeper into the pose, maybe you draw back. And again, working with that conscious ability to recognize, is this painful? Are you pushing yourself too hard? Or is it just resistance? Is it just a little bit of resistance to remove that emotional blockage? Because we like to hold on to things. We are creatures of habit after all. So working through with those 4 ripple breaths in the spine, and really be conscious of how movement in the back affects how that feels in the hip. So that left outside hip is probably really talking to you right now. We breathe in from the base of the spine, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, feel a softening. And again, deep breath in. Exhale to soften. 2 more breaths together. And 1 more. And then slowly walking the hands back. We're going to slowly unravel from this posture. Take your time. Uncross the legs, no rush. And again, with window wiper. Clicks and clunks are very normal. Lovely. So we're coming into quite an intense hip opener now. This is called frog pose. So we're going to come side on, and I'm going to suggest that we double over the edge of the mat. So I'm going to suggest that we flip this over just to provide a little bit of extra support for the inner knee. So we're going to come into almost all 4s knee length, but then I want you to take the knees wide. So the knees are wide, and then I want you to flex through the feet. So I'm not sure if you can see my feet, but my feet are flexed. And then my hips are in line with my knees. So we don't want to move too far back. We don't want to retract too far forwards. Hips in line with the knees. Now you might be able to open up that distance a little bit more. Maybe you can come down onto your forearms. So what we're looking at doing here is we're opening up the distance in between the knees, and we're dropping the pelvis down and backwards towards the floor. Spine nice and long, jaw and shoulders relaxed. So we're going to hold this posture for a while. We're going to be here for 1 minute. So that might not sound like that long to you, but this is really going to be doing amazing things for the body, amazing things for your hips. And again, if you need to tune in with any sort of intuitive movement here, be it kind of movement with the chest in a circular motion. Maybe it's a forward back sensation with the hips. Or maybe you found your biting point, that moment, that space of tension, and you're really working with directing the breath to that area. Just feel the hips open with the breath. Again, visualizing the breath traveling in from the base of the spine and out through the crown of the head. Just 2 more breaths together here. Candle pose. So we're just allowing the toxins to drain out from the feet, out from the legs, and to be absorbed into the floor. So I'd just like you to envision now any sort of, if you imagine the colour orange, imagine kind of a dirty orange, a rusty orange. And that orange is going to melt out from your toes, from your feet, shins, calves, knees and thighs, and just dissolve into the floor. So we're washing away negative, stagnant energy, anything that's not serving you. Now from here, you might wish to stay with the legs together. You might want to open the legs. We're coming into a reclined straddle. And we're just opening the feet out now. So your legs might come to here and stay. You might get that kind of trembling sensation. That's your biting point. I'd say stay there. But just as much as your legs are going to allow you to drop out to the side. Once again, you might have a gentle shift, a slight rocking. Intense for the core as well, so make sure you're stable through the belly. Maybe you need to support the legs, that's fine. And we're going to hold here for just 3 breaths, really feeling that sense of an opening through the inner thighs. Inhale. Exhale. And again, deep breath in. Full breath out. One more breath here together. And out. Amazing. Bring those legs back to the top. Take a deep bend. Hug the legs in. Give them a squeeze. And we're going to return to our reclined butterfly. So take soles of the feet together. Drop the knees out to the side. Take a deep breath in and lift the knees a fraction. And then exhale through the mouth. And let them drop back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Deep breath in, lift the knees a fraction. Exhale through the mouth to drop. Last time, deep breath in, knees lift. Exhale through the mouth. And then just allow your eyes to close. As we just take a moment to really just give the body a chance to digest the postures that we've moved into today. If your hips aren't really feeling it, you can move into Shavasana. I'd like you to come into your resting pose. warm orange light filling your pelvis with a sense of overwhelming positive emotion, of pleasure and joy. The warm orange of a sunset that encompasses the whole of the sky. This orange light starts to travel down your legs and up your torso, along your feet and out through your arms. So as you lie here, you resemble the warm, flickering flame of the sun. Butterfly pose now. Maybe you want to stretch those legs out long. Maybe you want to reach the arms behind you on the mat, lengthening out through the fingertips, through the toes, lengthening the spine. And then rolling over onto one side, slowly and carefully bringing yourself up into a seated position with me. Bring your hands through to your heart center and just take a moment to tune in with how you are really feeling now. After your practice and after this valuable and treasurable time with yourself, with your thoughts. Blessings of health and happiness. Om Shanti. Namaste. Namaste everybody. I hope we're feeling good. I hope we're feeling okay. I joked earlier about the tissue